And before we get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. And also a reminder, don't forget to mark your calendar for June the 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to do another relational live stream lecture. And the focus of that lecture is I'm going to give some insight in regards to many of the things I continue to do behind the scene to grow my YouTube channel, to continue to grow my YouTube channel and push it into the next stratosphere. So if you want to find out many of the things I do on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or a monthly basis, tune in and mark your calendar. You know, June 6th, my YouTube channel will be 5 years old. My channel is very close to being monetized now, going on 3 years. My channel has been monetized real soon. January 2024, my YouTube channel earned the YouTube Silver Play Button Award. That was a tremendous feat. In August of 2024, my channel became eligible for major brand deals. So if you want to find out many other things that's working for my channel that I do to continue to grow my YouTube channel, you need to mark your calendar for June 24th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be ready to get down to business. So with that being said, the focus of this lecture, and this particular lecture ties in, and I'm going to pull up some information real quick. It directly ties into the concept of my channel, that money piece, that financial piece. And this topic is your credit card utilization. Your credit card utilization plays a very important role on raising your credit score. You know, although I don't own credit cards, but, you know, one of the things I did back in 2012 when I rose above my financial situation, you know, I understood the power of that credit card utilization rate. And I'm trying to pull up this information here we go. Your credit card utilization rate. I can remember one of the strategies I used back in 2012, and right now my credit score is at 850, been at 850 for years. But many of the things I did along the way is when I did own a credit card back in 2012, one of the things I did deliberately is I deliberately got a credit card. I don't care what limit you want to put on that credit card, 5,000, 7,000, 1,000. Whatever limit you get on that credit card. I remember back then I had a credit card and I deliberately got a credit card with a limit of, I believe, $5,000 with the sole purpose to keep my utilization. This phone is cutting up, I'm trying to get into this. With the sole purpose was to keep my credit card utilization rate at a 0. So imagine for a moment, if you had a credit card with a maximum limit of $7,000 or $5,000 and you don't charge nothing on it, that means your utilization rate for that credit card will be 0. And I'm telling you, even keeping a 0 utilization rate, it doesn't matter, because that would still help build your credit. You know, if you say, for example, if your utilization rate from 0 to 9% in the rural credit card utilization would be considered excellent. Don't believe in that myth of keeping it below 30. No, I deliberately back then got a credit card and I kept my credit card utilization at a 0. That means for several months, I treated that credit card like it didn't exist. I never used it. So I would literally get a bill for 0 every month. And that 0 payment would count towards building my credit history. So, for example, a 0 to 9%, let me pull this up, keep going out. A 0 to 9% would be considered excellent credit utilization. A 10 to 29% would be considered good. And a 30 to 49% would be considered fair. And a 50 to 100% utilization rate would be need work. You want to shoot for excellent, meaning below 9%. Get it all the way to 0. 30% is fair. That's danger zone, in my opinion. But I remember I literally got a credit card and I charged nothing on it for a whole year. That means my bill was zero, utilization rate zero, and that played a great impact on where my credit score is right now at 850 people. That's the highest you can go. And it takes skills and discipline to do that. And once I utilize that credit card for the sole purpose of a zero utilization rate to get my credit score to 850, then I got rid of that credit card because I use Visa to manipulate my utilization credit score to get my credit score up to 850. They made no money off of me. They spent more money in sending me that bill for zero for almost 11 months. And within that time frame, my credit score been 850 for years now. But I'm telling you, don't believe the myth of the 30%. No, 30% is high. In this strategic plan, I literally talked about in my book title, Awake Financial Freedom, because from 2007 to 2012, when I was living in financial destruction, I can clearly remember bills hit me left and right, credit card debt, all kind of bills, paycheck going before I even got it. Credit card utilization maxed out, well over 100% maxed out on all. I got tired of living like that. So when I literally had that spiritual awakening in 2012, and God gave me the skills to really understand, to master my money, to control my money, credit card utilization, debt to income ratio, and the rest is history, people. You know, I was able to retire up out of this workforce early, September 2023, with zero debt. I had zero debt years before I retired. That's power, people. And don't believe that myth, because I'm telling you, don't believe that myth that you need a credit card to continue to raise your credit score. My credit score been at 850 for years, and I ain't had a credit card in years, people. There are many other things that plays a role in your credit score, and that ties also to in your overall debt to income ratio. Because whatever debt you have, trust me, it's going to show up on your credit report. You know, credit card debt, car notes debt, truck note debt, school loan debt, mortgage debt, default debt, hospital debt, debt after debt after debt. Trust me, collections, for all that showing up on your credit report, which has a negative impact on your debt to income ratio, which will shoot your credit score down. So when I didn't learn all these skills in graduate school. No, it took me going through financial destruction and having that spiritual battle with God, for God to give me the skills, number one, to write this powerful book. I still use my same book, Awake Financial Freedom, to sustain my financial health. And financial health means a lot of things. Financial health means your debt to income ratio, your credit score, your financial portfolio, who you owe. I don't care. I know people making $200,000 and $300,000 and $400,000 a year right now. But if a $400 emergency was to occur because they're living above their means, they're upside down, they're keeping up with the Joneses. If a $400 emergency was to occur, they could not handle it. I'm telling you, your debt to income ratio, you get that debt down to zero or virtually nothing. That's power, people. That is real power, to wake up and you don't owe nobody nothing. When I go on my credit report, because I'm checking my credit report a few times throughout the year, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, when I look at my credit report, and it's been this way for years, it literally says on my debt zero across the board. I have no car note, I have no student loans, I have no credit card, I have no mortgages, I have no default, I have nothing on my credit report. Zero meaning I owe nobody nothing. So all of my retirement checks that I get on a monthly basis that I've been getting now going on 2 years, I'm in a position financially where I reinvest 100% of my retirement income into another retirement account. I don't even touch the money because I have no debt, people. That's real talk. I do everything in cash. Don't believe this myth that you got to have a credit card to raise your credit score. My credit score been at 850 for years and I ain't owned a credit card in years. There's too many other factors. Because when you're dealing with stakeholders, when you're dealing with financial stakeholders, they're pulling your credit report and they are looking at your debt to income ratio. They're looking at all this doggone liability you have, and that can block you from better interest rates. Real talk. That can block you from getting that apartment. That can block you from getting that job. Yeah, jobs pull your credit report. To join any branch of the military, they pull in your credit report. A lot of to get certain promotions, they pull in your credit report. And if they're looking, seeing all that debt you owe, they see against your income, your debt to income ratio, debt 90%, way at the danger zone, way at the danger zone. That's a recipe for financial destruction. So I'm telling you, one of the, and I talked about this in one of my chapters in my book way back then, from when I rose above my financial situation in 2012. I talked about in one of these chapters in my book in terms of I got a credit card for the sole purpose to literally, back then, I got a credit. I did it a couple of times, but in my book, I talk about how I literally got a credit card to use Visa behind for about 11 months without charge. Back then, I was charging $1.99 on my credit card every month. Credit card utilization at a 0.1. At a 0.1, and I did that for 11 months, and that shot my score up. That means they weren't making no money off me, none whatsoever. I literally charged $1.99 on a credit card. Back then, I think the credit card had a limit of $5,000, and I was charging $1.99 every month because I knew that would have a great impact on my credit card utilization rate that shot my credit score up astronomically, people. And when it served this purpose, I contact the Visa and say, now cancel that credit card, and the rest is history. There's so much that plays a role into your credit score. And one of those is, if you use this strategy, it worked for me. And you got to be disciplined to do this. You can't go out there and get a credit card with the sole purpose to not charge you anything on it, for the sole purpose to shoot your credit score up. Then you turn around and you're charging $200 here, $300. No, you're defeating the purpose. You got to be internally driven for this strategy to work. I was on a mission, people, and I haven't looked back since. So your credit card utilization, one of the tips that worked for me throughout the years, at a certain point in my financial journey, I kept my credit card utilization rate at a 0. I treated that credit card like it did not exist, and that 0 payment counted towards my credit history. And I still, like I said, use many of the tips and strategies in my book titled Awake Financial Freedom. This is a spiritual testimony. I sometimes reread my own book as a reminder in 2025 on how messed up financially my life was from 2007 to 2012. It was beyond messed up, people. Back then, my credit score was a 340. I mean, it was beyond messed up. And I got tired of living like that. I got tired of living from paycheck to paycheck. I got tired of my check going before I even got paid. This, I'm telling you, all of the skills and strategies that I learned, that God gave me the skills to write my book, I did not learn in graduate school. People, I got 2 master's degrees. Only thing graduate school taught me was how to get in debt, credit card debt, school loan debt, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. I got tired of living like that. Real talk, people. So again, share this information. Somebody might need to hear this in terms of your credit card utilization rate can have a positive impact on raising your credit score. I'm living testimony. Like I said, my credit score has been at an 850 for years. That's the highest it can go. Real talk. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.